For this week's soup of the week, we're going to make a roasted pumpkin soup. This ties in nicely with Halloween in a couple of days. Lots of pumpkins, lots of squash about. And for this recipe, you will need 1.5 kilograms of squash or pumpkin. So you could use butternut squash, or you could use different varieties of pumpkin itself. 1 teaspoon of dried crushed chilies. 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds. 1 large onion. 3 garlic cloves. 1 carrot. 1 stick of celery. We're going to be making 1 litre of hot vegetable stock. That's it ingredients wise. I've got the oven preheating at 170 Celsius, which is 340 Fahrenheit. We're going to halve the pumpkins, remove the seeds as our first job. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and clear some space. Once we've got the pumpkins in on baking trays and roasting, we can then focus our attention on the rest of the ingredients. Just be careful doing this with your fingers. Some of these varieties are incredibly tough. Next, we're going to take out and remove all of the seeds. We'll go ahead and do that one by one. I'm just using a teaspoon. We're going to save some of the seeds from these pumpkins and we're going to use them to make roasted pumpkin seed. All these varieties and all the pumpkins you see in this recipe have been picked up in the Aldi's fruit and veg section. A couple of the bigger ones I picked up today as part of Aldi's Super 6 option for fruit and veg. So they're nice and cheap. I would avoid buying large pumpkins, carving pumpkins. They don't hold a lot of flavour. They are edible, but they have been designed and stored for the purposes of pumpkin carving and display. So personally I avoid that. And I'll go for a variety of different pumpkins just so I can add different depths of flavour. Some are sweeter than others. Some have got more of a nutty flavour. I'm just going to carry on and carve out all of the seed section of the pumpkins and I'll get back to you. Right, so they're all cored out. I've saved the seeds for use later. Next job is to slice the pumpkins into wedges. And then we're going to place the pumpkin slices, the pumpkin wedges, into 2 baking trays. Now that we've got the 2 baking trays full of pumpkin, I'm just going to drizzle over some olive oil. So we want 1 teaspoon of the chilies, dried chilies. And 1 tablespoon of the coriander seeds. In a pestle and mortar, grind it down so it's nice and fine. When you're happy how well it's ground down, we're going to take some and sprinkle it over the pumpkins. Along with some black pepper. Both trays of the pumpkin go into the oven for 1 hour or until they're soft and slightly caramelised on the edges. While that's doing, we can get on and prepare the rest of the veg. So just want to roughly chop the onion, the carrot, the celery and the garlic. Take the ends off the celery if it's a little bit ropey looking. This pan's going to take a litre of stock and all that delicious pumpkin at the end, so you do need a decent sized pan for it. Let's just get that warming up, then we're going to add the roughly chopped onions, garlic, carrot and then the celery. So we're going to chuck all the veg in. And on a medium heat that can cook down for 15 minutes. So the onions, carrot, garlic and celery have cooked down on a medium heat for 15 minutes. And I've just made up a vegetable stock using 2 stock cubes for a litre of hot boiling water, which we're going to add to the pan. Let's take a look at the pumpkins that have been in for an hour. So you can see they've gone lovely and soft, and they've got a caramelised, they're caramelised on the edges. So that whole lot's going to go into the soup. Next step is to take a stick blender, a hand blender. I've just got a cheapy Russell Hobbs job from Amazon, costs about 15 quid. And we're going to put it down to the bottom of the pan so that it doesn't splash everywhere. And then we're going to blend the soup through. Check the thickness, and if we're not happy with the thickness, we want it to be a bit thinner, a bit looser in consistency, we can add a bit more water. So there we have a lovely thick creamy pumpkin soup. I've got loads there, plenty to make extras. Let's serve it into a bowl and give it a taste test. If you find this too thick, you can add, like I said, add a little bit more water to it, a little bit more cracked pepper. Right, let's give that a taste test. It's got a lovely flavour to it. It's soft, sweet, rich in flavour. You could add some seeds on top. You can add in a small amount of cheese. You can run a bit of creme fraiche through it. There's all sorts of options you can do for your favourite topping. I think this as a standalone soup without any extras is a delicious, hearty, warming, very autumnal soup. It's got just that right amount of spice from the chilli, and that's got a big flavour kick from the coriander seeds. It's delicious. I've made so much soup that I'm going to make sure that I freeze it down while Vicky can take it to work with her. The kids can have it for lunch during the week. I hope you enjoyed that one. That one coincides with Halloween bonfire night, that time of autumn. I might look at doing some other options with pumpkin soup, but for me, roasted pumpkin soup with a little bit of a kick is a perfect autumn soup. Let me know what you think of this soup in the comment section. Keep your soup ideas coming. I always make a note of any of the recipes I get given. I'll hopefully see you next week for the next instalment of Soup of the Week. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.